Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. My name is Steve Eunice, and this is our January 19th, 2021 show. We're going to be covering a range of topics, including what's happening with Zack Snyder's Justice League, the running time for the premiere of Superman and Lois, March solicitations, and so much more. We're also going to be turning to you to take your questions and comments on any Superman topic you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show, let me introduce you to my friend, a very tired but faking it, Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Going well.
Yeah, I'm tired, but no one wants to hear about that tonight. Everyone is here because they want to hear us talk about Superman, because WGBS Live is all about Superman, and we want to hear from the people that are watching us live right now on YouTube. So about halfway through the show, if we don't have a whole lot going on, we're going to start taking calls. So how do you do that? Well, it's kind of simple. You're going to use Skype. Search for Superman Homepage. Send us a message saying you'd like to chat with us live tonight. Now, a couple of things. One, send us a message. Don't just, call us because, well, I scare easy, and this connection between the two of us is tenuous at best. Also, if you're watching WGBS Live using an external speaker, please turn that down before we talk to you, because we are on a bit of delay, and that can really screw things up.
Yes, and for those tuning in live via YouTube tonight, we invite you to join in and chat with fellow fans in the comments there. Michael and I will keep an eye on those, react to you as the show goes on. And if you'd like your question or comment featured live on the screen, then feel free to post a super chat. Now, how do you do that? Well, there's a dollar symbol there on your screen on YouTube. All you have to do is click on that. A slider will appear. You decide on a dollar amount you want to donate, and we will feature your question or comment live on the screen as the show goes on. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, you can click the join button below on YouTube, or you can head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. Mouthful. How have you been, Mike?
Oh, it's just been busy. Country's still trying to tear itself apart. We get a new president tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an interesting time to be alive.
Yes, indeed.
In all honesty.
Yes, very interesting times. Got a question asking Michael on the comments asking about my background, or saying great background. I'm deciding over the next couple of weeks, or for however long, to feature some fan art as the background behind me. This one comes from Alessandro Almeida, whose artwork you can find on Behance.net. Alessandro Almeida. I'll put that up on the bottom there. So if you want to check out his information, you can do so. He's got some great artwork, a lot of Superman stuff available on his artwork site. I will pop that up as soon as I figure out what I'm doing. Here we go. Here is his easy stuff there. There's his address, Behance.net, Alessandro Almeida. If you want to check out his artwork, he's got some great Superman stuff available on his...
I am bad at this.
I think it's like...
Yeah.
I can't go all the way because that's into your area. So yeah, check out his artwork at Behance.net, and it's a cool looking Superman, and he's got a few there to check out. All right,
that is cool. Superman looks very angry behind you, and he looks like he's got a lot of product in his hair.
He does indeed. All right, well, let's get into tonight's topics, and as I mentioned at the top of the show, there's some talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League once again this week. And if it doesn't air in March and somehow later on in the year, we're going to go bonkers just talking about it this week after week after week after week after week. This time around, the news is that it's not going to be a 4-part miniseries as we've been thinking all along. Zack Snyder is supposedly telling everyone now that it's just a 4-hour movie one-shot.
Yeah, man, what a non-story. I mean, I watched more people argue about this in like the past couple of days. I mean, people that like the movie, that want to see the movie, but it's just like for whatever reason, the idea that it's not a 4 hour miniseries or that they're glad that it's a 4 hour movie. I mean, really, what in a streaming world, what's the difference? Because you can pause it at any time and come back to it. I do that all the time on HBO Max. I've been going through these CNN documentaries and I pause and, could be like the next day, it could be like 3 days from now. I hit unpause and I continue with it. And it seems weird to do it, to be this upset about something.
Yeah, I guess the only difference would be is if the 4 parts were to be released, say, a week apart. So not available all at the one time, like on an episodic base. Say, like with Superman and Lois, the first episode will be available on February 23rd, and then the next episode will be February 30th, and you'll be able to watch both back to back or streaming on February 30th the following week because they'll be available on HBO Max, but you won't be able to watch the second episode if it hasn't been released yet on February 23rd.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think,
like, you think about it with Netflix at the moment. Say, for instance, with Cobra Kai, season 3 came out and all 10 episodes dropped at the same time, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so if you're not the kind of person who wants to sit and watch all 10 episodes at once, then you can probably get some spoilers happening along the way with people who sat and watched the whole thing in one go, all 10 episodes in the one day. If they don't release them straight away, if they release them weekly, then you'd have a week to chat about the first episode, and then people can talk about spoilers, and then they can sit the second week, watch the second episode, people can talk about that episode and talk about spoilers, and it wouldn't have the whole thing spoilt for you where in a 4-part miniseries as if you would if it's a 4-hour movie. That's probably where people are getting.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's just, they complain so hard to get it.
Yeah.
And now they're quibbling over how they're getting it. And I get that. But I don't know. It's just like sitting down and watching a 4-hour movie does not sound like fun. I mean, Endgame was like 3 hours long, and I think that was pushing it. And thank God for the pause button, to go use the restroom or get some more snacks or whatever. It's just, God, 4.
Yeah, it's
like, is he putting is Superman is BVS like most of that in this as well, and it's just all like one big film?
Does seem like I mean, I'd like it to be in 4 parts just for the intermissions. Just to, but as you said, you can just pause it at any point in time, and we do that with anything these days. It's like, can you just stop it there? I need to go to the bathroom, or I just want to go to get a drink, and you pause it whenever you want because that's the nature of the medium at the moment. But it would be, I don't know. I think 4 bite-sized 1 hour parts would probably be preferable. But it is what it is. And look, Snyder revealed this through his Vero social media account when a fan asked him, so is this still a series or a one-shot watch of a movie? And he said it's one-shot, which is, again, nothing official from HBO Max. We still don't have a premiere date. We still don't have a release date. But it's interesting that Snyder is nevertheless revealing these details bit by bit as we go along. Next thing you know, we'll be finding out it's all in black and white, complete.
Man, you wouldn't see half of it.
You need to turn the brightness up on your TV.
Yeah, I wonder though if he's saying one shot in that there aren't going to be any sequels.
But yeah, is this still a series or a one-shot watch of a movie? That's maybe didn't understand the question. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it ultimately it doesn't matter. I mean, it's coming. It's going to be 4 hours long. The great thing about streaming is you get to decide how you watch it. Like, for example, I may have binged Cobra Kai in 2 days. because I was really looking forward to season 3, and it ended very well, I might add.
Well,
A
we
little
just watched
cartoony, but well.
yeah, we watched the first 5 episodes last night, so yeah, I'm probably watch the next 5 tonight if I can fit it
Yeah.
in and do the same thing. But I guess that's the point. With streaming media these days, you pretty much can watch it how you want to watch it. The issue is with the online world, as far as spoilers and things are concerned. I still haven't watched the next season of Mandalorian yet. I've already had the surprise cameo spoilt for me, and whether or not it'll have any impact on me, I'll never know. But that's the problem these days. Is as soon as it gets released, 4 hours later, everyone's going to be talking about it and online discussing every bit, pulling it apart.
Oh yeah, I mean there was one guest star in Cobra Kai that was announced, and she was in the trailer, so you knew she was coming. There was another that was a complete surprise to me, and if I had not watched it as quickly as I did, that would have been blown for me in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of these news sites have embargoes until a certain point, and then they can release it, which is kind of weird. Now, my only I'm going to quibble one more time before we can move on to more interesting topics. What are the spoilers of a movie that is pretty much already out there? I mean, it's just like he's revealed dark sides in the movie, so that's not going to be a surprise or anything. And the movie is different, but is that a spoiler?
Yeah. Not really. I think you're right, and that's where this is probably different to, a new series or a completely new, story. But we'll wait and see, and we'll obviously be discussing it as time goes on. All right, well, let's move away from the Snyder news, and again, just quickly, if you would like to see Superman the movie on the big screen, the Alamo Draft House around Arizona, North Carolina, Texas, and Virginia still showing Superman the movie on the big screen across the weekdays this week up until Thursday. So check out the listings on our website for screenings of Superman the movie at an Alamo Draft House near you. So yeah, it's still running this week.
Woohoo!
All right, let's turn to the television side of things. And Superman and Lois, we've got the countdown on our website for how many days until the premiere on Tuesday, February 23rd. Batwoman's already on the CW, and the latest episode featured this little bumper graphic thing that showed up at the end of the episode saying, I'm going to bring up the graphic here for you guys to check out. It says, 2-hour premiere event, Superman and Lois, Tuesday, February 23rd. So I guess the question is, will it be a 2-hour movie length first pilot, or will they be screening the first and second episode back to back, making it a 2-hour event?
I was poking around Twitter shortly before we got on, and one of the CW affiliates tweeted out that it's going to be a 90-minute episode with commercials and a 30-minute documentary coming after that. That something of hope. So I'm wondering if they're turning this into kind of a Superman event where they. And I remember Lois and Clark actually did something very similar when it premiered here in the States. In fact, some of the episode was cut out because of this. It was 2 hours, but it was like 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then there was like a 15-minute behind the scenes thing.
Oh, okay.
And if that's the case, that's really interesting. That that seems like they're putting a lot into this as an event. So I'm actually kind of happy that it's not just the usual 1 hour and you're done pilot, which is usually what the CW does. I kind of miss the days when, the first night it premiered, like Smallville did, sort of. It was like 10 minutes longer.
Right.
And then they repackaged like the first and second episode as like a 2-hour movie at one point. So yeah, I mean it's interesting.
Yeah, well, we don't know at this point in time. Obviously the pilot is one episode, and how long that will be remains to be seen. John popped up a question there asking if the series premiere is 2 hours, how they're going to break it up if it's only a 1 hour show. Well, like I said, we don't know if they're just doing first episode, second episode as a package deal for a big premiere night special, or whether or not it will be a movie length premiere with some kind of a promo or a behind the scenes thing tacked onto it. So I guess we'll find out more. People were expecting to see some kind of a promo or a trailer with Batwoman the other night. I guess with still just over a month to go until the premiere of Superman and Lois, that we have a month for them to showcase the show and start pumping up the hype machine for it. So hopefully we start seeing a lot more soon, including some new trailers, graphics, promo material, and the rest. So looking forward to seeing what they come up with. Yeah.
Legacy of Hope
Legacy
is what
Hope.
it's called.
Okay.
So
it could be like a little documentary talking about the history of Superman and Lois.
Yeah, and I'd be totally down with that. I mean, it's for him to get something like this. It's like we're almost like, please sir, can I have some more? Whenever a Superman fan. Yeah, exactly. Very good.
Yeah.
No, I just I really like the idea of, as I was saying, I like the idea of this as an event. I like that they're making a big deal out of it. It makes it feel like it's more than, we're just pushing out this Superman thing, and actually giving the character his due.
I like Mark's comment in the chat there. Release the whole season as one movie.
Why not?
Yeah, that's the Snyder Cut having an influence on Mark's comment there. Nice one, Mark. All right, talking about the CW, Batwoman and the like, there was a announcement this week, or an interview with TVLine.com, talking to Batwoman showrunner Caroline Dreiss, saying that the previously planned crossover between Supergirl and Batwoman is no longer going to take place because of COVID-19 restrictions. She is quoted as saying, "We're not really able to cross over because physically we can't cross crews due to the fear of exposure to COVID. So if Supergirl weren't ending this year, I would say there would be more of a possibility, but I'm afraid that at least this year, we're not going to be able to tap into that dynamic." And that's understandable. It's sad, but understandable that with restrictions taking place about crews having to social distance and use masks and all those kinds of things, that crossing over two crews to get the characters together is not ideal. And I guess we're lucky that they previously already said that they're not going to be doing a big crossover this season with like they did with Crisis, because they just kind of tapped out on that kind of thing, but it kind of worked in their favor.
Yeah, I when I read this, I was like, that's too bad, because it would have been interesting to see Kara have, with the dynamic with the new Batwoman. I didn't watch the premiere, and it's not because I just I have something against the new Batwoman. I just kind of at an all-time low for these things. I mean, like, I'm excited for Superman, I'm excited for Supergirl to come back, but that's because they have S's on their chests. So it's I'm a mark for such things. But it's just like the rest of it. It's just, but with everything that's happened in the last year, it's going to take me a lot for me to get excited about something other than what I am like super familiar with. I liked Batwoman as a series last year, but it wasn't one of those things where it's like I had to watch it. And I fell off Flash pretty early too after the Crisis ended. So it's like one of those things where I guess I'm just not the audience for this anymore.
No, fair enough. And I heard whispers today that Supergirl has started its production for its sixth and final season already in Vancouver, which possibly is some of the other cast doing their stuff because, as far as I understand, Melissa hasn't had a baby yet, so that would make it hard to get into the Supergirl costume.
But I thought she had the kid.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I
I
missed that
swear
news.
to God, I saw that like a couple weeks ago.
You might be right. It's kind of ringing a bell now.
I might be right. I might be crazy. But it just may be a lunatic you're looking for.
People will quickly
Melissa.
tell us while you're doing your own research, but we do know that the sixth and final season of Supergirl will premiere sometime later this year on the CW.
Huxley Robert Wood.
Oh, so they did. Yes, I think I
Yeah.
remember posting a congratulations news item um, about that, but lots happened in the last
Yeah,
few.
it's like one of those things where you know we're we're slowly approaching here in the United States 400,000 dead. So it's just like it's not that I'm not happy for Melissa and Chris because they seem like lovely people, but gee, a lot's going on.
Big time. A lot, a lot, a lot. Well, she didn't waste any time getting back into shape if that's the case, because sometimes it takes you a while to lose that baby belly. But yeah, good on them, and I wish them all the best. And as John said, keep the CW going and keep everyone safe is a preferred agenda now, rather than worrying about crossing over characters and the like. So more power to them. I hope things continue to be safe for everyone, and that they continue to be able to produce the shows that we are waiting patiently to see. Keeping on the talking about streaming and TV stuff like that, DC announced today the launch of DC Universe Infinite, which is not anything to do with TV or streaming, but it is a digital service for comic books. So this is kind of the replacement, the evolving life of what the DC Universe online app or whatever that was called. DC, what was it called?
DC Universe.
Just
Yeah,
DC Universe digital streaming service. Yeah, now that's kind of been absorbed into HBO Max, and the comic book side of things is now being called DC Universe Infinite. It's available January 21st. It will be launched. It will then expand globally, which is good news for people outside the US. It will include selections of DC's comics from their own labels: Vertigo, Black Label, Milestone Media catalogs. There'll be over 25,000 comic books and graphic novels to start with, and then they'll continuously add selections from all those platforms. And they'll also feature new comic releases 6 months after their in-store release. So there is that 6 month delay if you're saying, oh, I'm just going to ditch buying my comic books regularly. Well, there will be a 6 month delay for new comic books. Digital first titles will be available 3 months after their release. But there'll also be brand new comic titles exclusive to DC Universe Infinite, which I guess is the draw card for anyone who's going, I get my comic books anyway. Why would I need this service? But if there is something particular that's unique to this service, I guess that's where they'll be able to get some subscribers.
It's interesting that they're including the Black Label and the Vertigo books because unless something has changed from when I was a subscriber, Marvel Unlimited doesn't do any of their Max titles. Which means Alias, which is their adults only book, isn't available on the app. So the fact that DC's putting everything up there that's digitally available is it's a smart move, really, in all honesty, because Vertigo is one of those labels, for lack of a better term, that really cultivated kind of a different audience. So, it's not going to just be all superheroes. I think I share with the frustration, which is this is a total first world problem, but that more of the 70s and 60s and 50s are not available.
Yeah.
But I also understand it takes time to digitize these things. They've got to recolor them. They can't just scan the book and throw it up there. It would look terrible. But why don't you just, illegally download them at that point? But it's nice that they're continuing with this service
Mm.
because, frankly, it was stupid of them to take this long.
Yeah, indeed, and it's I know I'm being a little bit selfish here, but I'm glad that this is going to be released, launched globally down the track. I think they're missing out on a large chunk of their readers and people who would like to sign up to this service along with HBO Max. Hint, hint. If they when to do this. So I think it's a great idea. DCUniverseinfinite.com. Here's a little promo video that they released as well for this. Check it out. Nothing more than a little bit of a stinger, but they're putting some artwork into that, some time into it. So yeah, the full press release is available on our website if you'd like to check it out. As far as how much Justin is asking, it will be available on iOS and Android devices for $7.99 a month, that's US, or $74.99 a year, which comes down to $6.25 a month if you do a year subscription. As for, I've had some people ask me, what does that mean for people who are already subscribed to the DC Universe digital streaming service or HBO Max? I'm not sure what the deal is there. You should probably ask them and get the question answered.
They bombarded me with emails about a month ago saying, hey, it's changing soon. Go update your settings so that basically it's a seamless transfer. It's like what I'm assuming is going to happen on the 21st is I'm going to look at my phone and the app is going to update to the new service because they're probably using the same infrastructure they were using before with it. They had other little offers for people, to kind of glom onto, but
Yeah.
that's what I got from it. And I updated my settings and all that, and I just assume, like I said, that on Thursday I can get up and take full advantage of it. My problem now, again, another first world problem. My iPad is like 7 years old almost. 6 or 7 years old. So it really did not like the DC Universe app. I don't know if it's too new for it, but so I guess I won't be taking advantage of it that much. The other thing I'm disappointed in is that I did like the fact that HBO Max is not going to put all of the shows that were constantly available on DC Universe up. And in some cases, that was just really convenient to kind of like download a couple episodes and take and watch it on my meal breaks. But again, first world problem. I'm sure they'll iron something like that out.
Actually, it does say here in the press release, DC Universe Infinite subscribers in good standing who were existing members of DC Universe or who joined during the DC Universe Infinite pre-order offer window and who enrolled in auto renewal will receive a special thank you voucher redeemable at the DC shop on or after February 1st, subject to terms and conditions. Annual subscribers will receive a $25 voucher, while monthly subscribers will receive a $10 voucher. See full terms and conditions for details. So there you have it.
Yeah, us monthly people, I guess, we're paying you more and you're giving us less.
Seems weird.
Yeah.
They want your money for the year. They don't want it by installments.
But never mind.
They get to do more with your money up front. All right, it's halfway through the show. We're going to take a quick break, play some messages, and then going to come up back on the flip side and do the fan favorite segment. and then talk more about comic books. So more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying WGBS TV Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by visiting patreon.com/Superman homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Just try one. If you don't like it, it's easy to give up.
Uh-oh, nicotine. I'd better move fast. Up and away!
Go on, kid, go on.
Superman, is it hard to give up smoking, or is it easy like nicotine says?
You no-good windbag, nicotine.
No, Superman. Leave me one. Please, I need one. Just...
That's how hard it is. That's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
Hi, this is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman from Justice League Action. You're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is James Konachek, the voice of Superman.
This is Jeff Loeb, and you're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is John Hames Newton, and you're listening to SupermanHomepage.com.
This is Jack O'Halloran on SupermanHomepage.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Daly, the voice of Superman, here on Superman Homepage.
And we're back on WGBS TV Live. From a question earlier on in the show, John asked about what's going to happen with the show when Superman and Lois kicks in on Tuesday nights. We have decided that we're going to be moving it to Monday nights. So we will give you plenty of notice. We will do that in probably early February. So we've got at least a week or more to go before we make that change. We'll give you notice. So don't worry about that. Okay, let's do the fan favorite segment of our show. Here is our little promo intro. All right, what was our question from last week, Michael?
Our question was, what is your favorite Superman novel?
And sadly, we received no responses. A literate bunch, us Superman fans.
I like the pretty pictures.
But I have pulled down a few off my bookshelf that are important to me and I wanted to share. First and foremost, the one that started it all for me, The Death and Life of Superman by Roger Stern. This isn't the book, the version that I read. I had it as a paperback, but obviously being such an important book to me, I went out and grabbed, purchased the hardcover version. So that obviously tells the death and return of Superman story in novelization. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Had a massive impact on me, and is pretty much why the Superman homepage still exists.
That is a good one. I have the hardcover and the Barnes and Noble 10th anniversary edition.
Okay.
That they did that had a new introduction because I'm that type of nerd.
This is another one sorry, this is another one that I grabbed off the shelf. The Adventures of Superman was originally published in 1942 and illustrated by Joe Shuster, and this is a faithful and authorized reproduction with a new introduction by Roger Stern. A great book as well. Really enjoyed reading that when it came out, and when I saw it on the shelf in the bookstore, I just had to pick it up. Enjoyed reading this one.
Yeah, I was really excited when that came out in '95 because that was like it's a piece of Superman history. I managed to locate on eBay in 1979 a publisher put out a bootleg version of it. They weren't supposed to, but with the movie and everything.
Yeah.
And apparently that one's worth money.
Oh, wow.
Because fandom is weird.
Yeah.
But I bought it from writer Paul Kupperberg. He was selling his copy. So I'm the type of guy that wants to have like different iterations of anything. Definitely not getting a original copy because those things are quite expensive.
Mark mentioned It's Superman by Tom DeHaven. That's another one that I thoroughly enjoyed and have in hardcover edition as well. That is also a really good read. Obviously, there's other ones out there. These are just 3 I grabbed. I could grab another 10 that I thought were impressive, including obviously Miracle Monday and those types of books that have historical nostalgia as well.
Yeah, when I was off the top of my head, I will always now say It's Superman by Tom DeHaven. Just a wonderfully researched and vivid idea of like the Superman in the Golden Age. If you have Audible, buy the book. Scott Brick reads it, and he at the end channels Bud Collyer when he's reading the Superman dialogue. It's really good. Mark asks, does graphic audio count? Unfortunately, graphic audio does not have the DC license anymore, so all of their DC productions are no longer available. And this is where Marvel has it over graphic audio, because Marvel apparently just wholly owns those graphic audio productions, so they just threw them on Audible. DC is yet to do that, and I have no idea why. I don't know why DC does a lot of things. Death and Life of Superman, definitely a favorite. I have a large affection for that book. There was when Batman came out in '89, they put out a series of books called The Further Adventures of Batman, The Further Adventures of Joker, and it was an anthology book of short stories about Batman or the Joker, and they did other ones like for the Penguin and for Catwoman and the other movies. They did a Further Adventures of Superman that had some... It was like up and down, and that's the problem with an anthology. It's not all of them are going to be amazing. Cannot recommend Last Son of Krypton and Miracle Monday enough. Both written by Elliot S. Maggin, both great Superman novels, and just so much fun. And the second one especially really gets into the nitty gritty of who Superman is as a hero. And those are available now through Kindle because apparently Elliot S. Maggin can publish those anytime he wants to. It was part of the contract.
Wow. Because he did new ones with really weird artwork as the cover.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what that was all about, but yeah, he seems to have some kind of power or pull there to be able to do that. On the comments, Steve Brown says he just looked up The Adventures of Superman on Amazon, and I'm guessing it's a first edition or original, is $134.68. Maybe it's more. Well, I don't know, but this, I don't think this version would be that worth that.
No, probably not. That
was limited edition run. But
the thing is that Superman as a character just was in all mediums. The Adventures of Superman novel that they reproduced in 1995. I mean, it was written by George Lothar, who was the producer of the radio show. So it's like one of those things where it's really close to the radio show because it's the same guy. A couple back in the early 2000s, DC and I think it was Bantam Books put out a series of Justice League novels. There was a Superman one in that called Never Ending Battle by Roger Stern, which was okay. Smallville had a bunch of tie-in novels.
It did. So did Lois and Clark.
Yeah, Lois and Clark had one that was a hardcover.
Yeah.
That if you removed the Superman logo, it looks like a smutty romance book. Because it's a picture of them. But there is one of that was the hardcover, which almost immediately went to the remainder table for some reason. But I was looking for the other ones 2 or 3 years ago. There's one that I can't find.
Okay.
And I found it once, and the dude wanted like $95, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But it's just, for some reason, even though those were mass market, they just are not available.
Oh, wow. I think I got the series of those up there somewhere. John Patrick Van Pelt, you saw his comment come up on the screen there. Superman: The High-Flying History of America's Most Enduring Hero by Larry Ty. While it's not a novel, it's it's not a fictional story. It's a non-fiction. It's definitely probably the best non-fiction Superman book out there if you're looking for some history on the early days of Superman and the letters that went between Jerry Siegel and DC and just the ins and outs of all that. It's fascinating reading.
And it's also on Audible, read by Scott Brick, oddly enough. As is the novelization of Superman Returns, which is also read by Scott Brick. I guess he was just the go-to guy for Superman books for that time period. No, I think Superman in prose is interesting because he's such a visual character. It really takes a writer that can understand it. And the one that you led off with, I mean, you want to talk about launching 1,000 ships. Roger Stern managed to, in one novel, not only tell the story of the death and the intermediate time and the resurrection with the other Supermen, he managed to cram in so much post-crisis history in a way that wasn't completely boring. Like, that was the first time I remember reading, when I read the book, reading about like the origin of the Guardian, and I was completely transfixed of it because he just paints this great picture of it. And the most interesting thing about that book is that he was writing it as they were doing the comics, because that book hit the same week that Superman number 82 did.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like just insane what that they were able to do that.
That's impressive indeed. All right, what's our new fan favourite question for this week, Michael, which will hopefully get more or some respondents. And if it doesn't, it's your fault because you came up with this question.
Yes. Now, the question is pretty basic. What is your favorite song about Superman? Now, what this means is it doesn't need to be a song that is about Superman. It can be a song that has Superman in the name that just kind of refers to it. Mine actually, I'm not going to reveal it now, obviously. Mine will be that. It's not really about Superman, but it has a Superman thing. I have two. Neither one of them are that god-awful, I can't stand to fly. Gotta hate that song. And they played it
Five for Fighting
all the time. Yeah, I just like, man, at a time when Superman, everyone was accusing Superman of being like mopey, this mopey song comes out.
That's funny. The email address is there on your screen, info@supermanhomepage.com. If you're having trouble, you don't know what songs are out there, go to the Superman homepage website. Under the radio section of our website, we have a complete list, well, we think it's complete at this point in time, of all the songs in pop culture that mention Superman. The word Superman is listed or mentioned, or Clark Kent is mentioned in either the title or the lyrics of a song, of the songs. There, it's all there on our website. Make sure you go to the website under the radio section. You will find the list. It's like 500-600 songs available. So there's no excuse for not having a song ready for next week. info@supermanhomepage.com, your favorite song about or referencing Superman.
So Justin in the chat is talking about the Eagle Moss trades that he's getting once a month. I wonder if those are the ones, because one of my friends in the UK has been collecting something similar, where when it's a bunch of DC trades, but when you put them all on the bookshelf, it's the Alex Ross shot of the Justice League.
Oh, okay.
From the Justice miniseries, and if that's the case, I actually have 2 of those because I have an illness with the Death of Superman and Man of Steel. So I have those. They look really weird on the bookshelf because it's just like one section of a thing just randomly in the middle of a bunch of other books. So
nice. Maybe Justin will let us know if they're the same ones. All right, let's get into the comic book side of things. That's the fan favorite segment. So this week, DC released the April. I think I said March at the beginning of the show. April 2021 solicitations. Coming out, and this is the second month of the new writers taking place, taking over the books. We have Action Comics 1030, which I'm going to grab the graphic for you right here. That's there. It's by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Daniel Semper. And backup stories written by other writers. The cover there is by Mikel Janin. World Rising starts here. A new chapter in Superman's life begins as the challenges of Dark Knight's death metal are causing Clark Kent to feel a change in his powers. Is it possible the Metropolis Marvel could be losing a step? His struggles in taking down the creatures from the breach would suggest as much. If he's going to continue to protect the people of Earth, he'll have to adapt, especially with threats like Mongol out there waiting to launch their biggest attack on the Earth yet. That's right, those are War-World battleships just outside our orbit, and they're heading straight for us.
And there's a Midnighter backup story as well. Yeah, that's a great cover to that Action issue. That's just a fantastic cover. I'm looking forward to reading that.
So then we also have Superman number 30 out on the 13th of April. Superman has received a signal from distant space. An old friend is in deep trouble, and only the Man of Steel can help him. By the time Superman and his son get there, though, the alien who sent the signal is nowhere to be found, and his people appear to be enthralled by a shamanistic storyteller who warns of an ancient grudge with the malevolent shadow breed. This leaves Clark and Jonathan to ponder just who sent them the distress message, but before they can find the answer, they'll discover that an ancient grudge still has very current consequences. So kicking off a new storyline, this issue pairs Philip Kennedy Johnson with his Future State Superman House of L collaborator artist Scott Godlewski, and then also there's a backup tale of Tales of Metropolis, The Return of Ambushbug.
Say it isn't so.
I don't know. You know, you've been talking about Man of Steel, and you know, here it has an old friend deep in trouble. Remember the cleric back in the day? Is he dead?
Yeah, he died towards the end of Exile. When he died, that's when he gave Superman the Eradicator, and Superman got his costume back, and he shaved with a piece of the thing and looked all awesome.
For a minute there, I thought it might have been, you know, something along those lines.
Well, you know, continuity is not the unmovable millstone around writers' necks that it once was. So it could be Cleric. I mean, it could be Pete Ross. I mean, when's the last time we heard of him?
Yeah, true.
That Batman Superman cover to issue 17 is amazing. I am in love with this thing.
With Superman ripping open his shirt in the alleyway while Batman and Robin fight.
Yeah.
Who is it, like the Joker and some other villains in the background? See if I can get that up for you here.
It's the like the kind of Earth 2 Golden Age Superman S. You know, it's like old school Clark Kent. I just
really dig it.
The what?
You really dig it.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually going to be
Here it
picking this
is.
book up, starting with the previous issue.
Let me bring it up for you right here. There's the graphic Michael's talking about.
I have been wanting DC to do adaptations of the radio serials for so long, so I've got to support this thing, even if it's not like a direct adaptation.
Mm-hmm. So there you have it. That's that cover that you were talking about. Also mentioned in the solicitations is this crossover that DC promoted. DC and Rooster Teeth is the other publisher. They're teaming up for Ruby Justice League, a digital-first mini-series. Now, if you're wondering who Ruby is, it's weird because I had to look it up to see how you pronounce it, but it's RWBY is... turn that one off there. Sorry about that. Here is the graphic to the cover. It's a combination. They're teaming up this anime manga series called Ruby with the Justice League for a weekly digital first series debuting on March 9th. Introduces fans of manga and superheroes to the Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Diana Prince of Remnant fighting with Team Ruby. A new Grim is running rampant across the island of Patch, and Ruby and Yang must team up with a young red and blue clad farm boy to stop it. I've never heard of Ruby, or I've never heard of Rooster Teeth, the publisher either. So
neither have I.
This is a new one for me.
I looked at that solicitation. I went, okay, somebody knows what this is.
Somebody's interested.
Because I am old and apparently don't understand new things.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, well, the digital series launches March 9th, and the print issues, which will collect a couple of the digital chapters into a printed edition, will be available April 27th. So Mind the Gap says he knows it has some fans. Well, that's somebody. Never watched Ruby, but anyway.
Not a real anime. I wonder what that means.
Steve is suggesting a future fan favorite question. What is your favorite post-crisis Elseworld Superman comic? Excellent idea, Steve. We will take that, put it on our list of questions to ask in coming weeks. I like that. Elseworlds an awesome time in DC's publishing history.
Yeah, I'd be down for that'd be a good question. Maybe someone will actually want to answer it, unlike the last one.
All right, let's look at what's available this week for comic book fans of DC and Superman especially. Here's what you can look forward to. We have, just grabbing the graphics here. So for Superman fans, we have Deceased Dead Planet number 7. The conclusion of this 7-issue digital series written by Tom Taylor. I actually reviewed this series, and the 7th issue review is up on our website now. It's, I don't know what people think of the Deceased storyline, but Tom does a great job of wrapping things up in this particular issue, and I highly recommend it. Also available this week is Deceased Dead Planet number 7 comes in this variant cover, and also a movie tribute variant cover. Also available this week, Future State Superman Worlds of War number 1, and that is also available in a variant cover right there. We'll talk about this one in a second. Also available is the 12th, and I think it's the final issue of Legion of Superheroes, or maybe it's continuing on. I'm not sure. Brian Michael Bendis, I think, is doing something there. That is also available in this variant cover. Then on the trade paperback side of things, we have Young Justice Volume 3, Warriors and Warlords trade paperback. And then on the digital first publishing program side of things, the 6th chapter of Challenge of the Super Sons is available to download digitally. So that is what's out this week. And as I said, the comic books are reviewed and available to read our reviews on our website right now. Future State Superman Worlds of War number 1 was reviewed by our reviewer James Lance, who gave it a 5 out of 5. saying that they kind of blended Exile and Legends of a Dead Earth into a story for this one. But he absolutely loved it.
That doesn't exactly sell it to me.
Fair enough.
I hated Legends of the Dead Earth.
But he says it's done equally as well in this issue as they were in their predecessors, but you didn't like Legends of a Dead Earth. But I've seen a lot of good things about this particular comic book on social media. I haven't been able to read it myself yet. I have it ready to read.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to be
looking forward to it.
picking it up as well. Oddly enough, yes, me buying a new Superman book. It's a miracle.
Also, as I said, DC's Dead Planet #7. I reviewed this one myself. I just read it today and published my review on the website. And as an Aussie, I was very happy to see Tom Taylor set this story, a lot of this story in Australia, a lot of this particular chapter, which was interesting to see. You don't really, from time to time, they show the Harbour Bridge or the Sydney Opera House or something as a kind of a token to show that things are happening all around the world. Like they'll put the pyramids in when they're showing Egypt, or they'll put the Eiffel Tower to show what's happening in France. But this one was actually set quite a bit in I think it's in Melbourne, in Australia. So well done, Tom.
Well, considering Melbourne got wiped out during Invasion, that's kind of I guess it's the least that DC could do for you guys.
Well, they actually wiped out the Amazo army, destroyed millions of unliving people in Australia, in Melbourne. So it wasn't really a token of good good things.
But you know that none of those people were rugby players because they would never die.
No, true. Rugby league, just get it right. Sorry. Moving.
Really?
It's important.
Okay, apparently it is.
All right, well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's show. Sadly, we didn't get a chance to do This Week in History, Michael, which I know you had prepared. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to make a mention of before we finish off?
Just on a personal level, Superman number 53 came out. It has the cover, Truth, Justice, and the American Way, with Superman saluting with the flag behind him. A really good story about showcasing why Superman isn't a lapdog of the American government.
Mm-hmm.
And considering recent events, I kind of appreciated that.
There's the cover for you right there. Well, as I said, that brings us to the end of tonight's show. Before we do sign off, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's episode of WGBS TV Live. I want to thank everyone in the YouTube comments there for your participation live watching the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. We appreciate your support. And to you, my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Thank you.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And don't forget, if you want to check out the whole of tonight's episode, if somehow you've missed part of it, tuned in late, you'll be able to watch the whole thing on our YouTube channel or our website at either of those locations. We will also make sure you check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. We'll be back next week on Tuesday, January 26th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. We look forward to talking to you then. Until then, I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.